Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, this is the Ramble, and it's live from Harlem in New York City, and I'm Alex. Yeah, I have to hurry. Hello, Lori Thompson. I have to hurry because we have to do this, and then I have to go to PT.
Which is, physical therapy.
And I hate physical therapy because today I've got to tell the physical therapy person
Yes.
that I'm sorry, but it's not working.
You're not doing it. You're giving, you got to know when to cut bait.
I mean, I've been doing it every day, and
Yeah.
I've only been getting worse. I get out to walk, and my legs are weak,
Yeah.
and I've done all the exercises. I mean, religiously every day.
Yeah, that's hard to understand, except when you think that that's like an industry, probably a multi-billion-dollar industry,
Yeah.
physical therapy, and you get them in conjunction with the insurance companies, see?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just all kinds of things they can bill to that.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
And something, we were having trouble with the sound earlier, and I think I found my problem. It was on my side.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the heat.
Yeah. So
Sometimes it seems like I do this radio show down here. It's just a once a week thing.
Yeah.
At a classic rock station. And sometimes I will leave the room and the board will correct itself. Like I can't get it to do something. So, I just take a break and then I come back and it's fixed itself.
What I did is I turned down the volume and here. And so that's why you were so low. We were having trouble with her being low, but I can't blame her now. God damn it. You like to be able to blame the woman.
Oh, yeah. And also when something goes wrong like that and everything seems like you always do it, like, this is the way we always do it. What's wrong? And then there's that added level of frustration.
It's your fault, woman.
Yeah, chick. Blame it on the chick.
Yeah. But the guys will never admit they're wrong.
I know. Well, yeah. I hate those things, generalizations, I call them. But I hate, women always do this, guys do that. But I think that somehow, is it because you think it diminishes our respect or admiration for you if you don't know all the answers?
Well, that I don't know, but what the hell,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm out of sync, I think, a little bit here.
Sync?
Yeah, I don't know. I go out of sync, and I never can figure out why.
Yeah, that means when the audio, when what you're saying.
I went and got a more powerful machine, and it won't work. I'm having technical problems today, folks.
Well, we have on our cable system, that happens all the time to where we just are used to it. Like someone will drop a brush on the table and you'll hear it 20 minutes later. Oh, yeah, that was that brush.
Yeah. Well, I can always switch over here on pictures here. There we go. And let's see. I'm more in sync than I was.
Oh.
Well, not really.
In sync like the band, and they're bringing back in sync, and you could be, and you're already in sync.
Yeah.
You should audition.
Well, anyway, see, I'm out of sync, folks. That's weird. I give up. Everything's going wrong today.
Does it give you that sinking feeling, though? That's what
it
really
does. Anyway, so don't mind if I'm out of sync, folks.
Okay.
Screw it.
I don't mind.
Screw it. So how are you doing down there in Florida?
Well, everybody, see, I can tell when CNN, I'm not a big watcher of CNN or Fox, thank goodness, but I can tell when the coverage around the country on CNN about our weather is just crazed, because my friends and you were kind to text about our whereabouts. And we don't get it. We're in the Panhandle. It's like this. As soon as I say it's a safe little corner, then it'll go crazy. But we don't get much of the hurricane activity that the east side gets.
Yeah. So, but did you get? You must have gotten wind though.
We get. That's the reason we're indoors today. Here we have wind like hecka crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no hurricane now.
No, it's kind of like we get the.
In other words, where are you exactly? You're up near the Panhandle, right?
Yes, and we live. You can imagine, which it's about 50 miles south of Pensacola, and if you drew a line east to west between Mobile and Tallahassee, we'd be in the middle. It's near Destin.
Okay.
And
we're 20 miles from Pensacola.
My husband is trying to mansplain. No, but
10 miles from
40
Pensacola.
miles from Pensacola.
40 miles from Pensacola?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So if I looked at Pensacola, then where would I look? North?
No, you would look south from
South,
Pensacola, and there we would be.
Okay.
And we haven't.
Because I was watching all those maps on TV, and they were showing the maps on TV, and they were going here, and we're going, this is where it's going, and I said, I don't know where she lives, but it looks like it's missing her.
Yeah, it does, and it can look like it's headed straight for us. And this last one, Milton, did get closer than the others have, characteristically, but still, our shingles are intact and everything.
Well, I got the shingles once, so
it's horrible. It's supposed to be horrible.
Yeah, having a shingled roof. I mean, that must be painful. But anyway, so I God, I'm really out of sync. This is ridiculous. Well, anyway, live with it, folks, if you're watching us.
Okay.
I don't know why I get obsessed by these things, and it throws everything off. I just like to talk to you. But anyway, I had these people visit us from Port St. Lucie.
Oh, yeah.
They got it bad because what they got were the tornadoes. Okay.
Oh, those are, and see, in the Midwest, I am familiar, having lived in Tornado Alley in Illinois, with those. They're a completely different animal.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Well, so, they had hurricanes, and the hurricanes caused the tornadoes, I think.
That's often the way it seems to go.
Yeah.
But tornadoes, you can actually see coming from miles away. I mean, it's a physical image.
But there's no way you can dodge them. They're going to go where they're going to go.
Oh, yeah. You might be able to outdrive them. I don't know. I'm not going to try, but
yeah.
Never have.
Well, they have these tornado chasers.
Yeah. The story. Well, wasn't that movie Twister with Helen Hunt about that?
Where they actually go and study them and so on. Yeah. But the thing is, I wonder why people live in Tornado Alley. I mean, if you know there are tornadoes, why don't you move to where there aren't tornadoes?
Yeah.
But every place in the country you go, there's some kind of meteorological negative.
Yeah.
Associated with or not even meteorological. In California, I say, how can you people live with tornadoes? And they'd say, well, how can you live with earthquakes?
Right. But earthquakes are so much better. You get no notice, so you don't have to stress.
Mm-hmm.
It will hit you at the oddest
Nobody
time.
on television is saying we're expecting earthquake today.
Earthquake, yeah. Your chances of earthquake today on your weather app.
Although people used to say to me, it's earthquake weather.
Well, you know what? There might be some. I mean, I'm not saying that's a statement of fact. I'm just saying that the day we had the earthquake in San Francisco in '89, I had taken a drive down the marina, and there's always activity at Crissy Field on the marina. Joggers, dog walkers, everything. And there was silence. So I don't know if that had anything to do, but it's one of those weird things that I made a note before the incident happened. Mm-hmm. Usually you can say, well, I noticed this morning after an earthquake.
You were there for the Loma Prieta, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I lived in the marina, and I was getting ready to go to the World Series. Yeah. And I was like, there was a jolt, but it wasn't major. And then 15 seconds or so later, there was a major jolt where my speakers started off.
Were we doing the show then at Live 105? No.
No, that was when you were on hiatus. I was working with Perry Stone then.
Oh, really? So that was during that hiatus.
Yeah, and
Yes, of course. Let me backtrack. Of course, I should know that because I was out of work, and then the earthquake hit, and I said, "I'm going to be still out of work after this is over."
Yeah.
You know, and I went. No matter how hard I try, there's no way to solve it. I'm out of work, and everybody's going to be so thrown off by this earthquake that what do? Send out my audition tapes, like the day after the earthquake? I don't think so.
Well, you might have gotten a little sympathy attention. But he just went through that earthquake. Let's listen to it.
Yeah, well, I went through that earthquake, and it was what it was. But I remember, you're absolutely right. I wasn't working, and I was between jobs.
Yeah, and they put us up in Mount Sutro is one of the highest places in San Francisco Bay Area. So they put a trailer on Mount Sutro, and the day after the earthquake, we didn't broadcast. Nobody was. KCBS was, but they put the trailer on top of Sutro, and we broadcast there for I think a week.
Really?
Yeah, it was a while.
Did you have a live studio audience?
No, but our program director and I thought this was nice. See, and we were out of our home. I lived in a marina, so all of us in my apartment building. Or there were only 4 units, but we were out of our home. So I was staying with various friends, and the program director would come and pick me up every morning, and then we would drive to do radio on Mount Sutro. So it was kind of a neat little vignette.
Wow. Yeah, of course, I should have. You see, I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm really muddled about my past.
It's easy to do, Ben. I mean, and you have to.
And I should have remembered that. Of course, I was out of work because I remember that the first thought that came to mind was, oh, my God, well, I'm out of work and try finding a job after this.
Yeah. But there is that period of readjustment where everybody's kind of skittish.
Yeah.
To make decisions.
So, I mean, that was a terrible thing. I mean, I was in the marina. Were you living? You say you were living in the marina at that time?
I was renting in the marina at the time.
Okay.
And that's when all the radio stuff went down. I found out that you were leaving, and that was very upsetting to me. Then our general manager resigned shortly thereafter. Mm-hmm. And then they said, we're going to bring in this guy from San Jose. And he was a nice person, like to have coffee with or something. Everybody on the air, he was a shock jock, which is just not my thing at all.
Yeah, and here's what he was doing. He was attempting to be a shock jock, as opposed to actually being a shock jock. I mean, Howard Stern was a shock jock.
Yeah.
And then there were the people that imitated Howard Stern, and that's who this guy was.
Yeah, and he really thrived on produced bits that you would play like 2 or 3 times a morning. And he was very good at those produced bits, but you're limited in your format and your premise to movie trailers, things like that.
Yeah.
When you're doing a parody of something in 30 seconds. And so that was not my style either. Yeah. I like reality and wit.
Well, yeah, I think we were a little smarter as a show than he was.
I would agree.
Yeah. What happened, in case people don't know, in my career, I was in San Francisco, and I used to be a big shot.
You were a big shot.
I like to use that term because there was a movie called The Roaring Twenties with Humphrey Bogart and Jimmy Cagney. And at the end of it, Jimmy Cagney gets shot, and he stumbles down the street, and he stumbles onto the steps of this church, where he rolls down, and he's dead. And his girlfriend runs up to him, cradles him in her arms, and a cop comes along and says, "What's his name?" And she gave whatever the name was and says, "What did he do?" And she looks up at him and says, "He used to be a big shot." And Warner Brothers always had great last lines in those films. Is this the end of Rico? Top of the World Ma, things like that. And that one was he used to be a big shot. Now, I'm watching this movie one night when I'm out of work, and I go, yeah, I used to be a big shot, right? So even on my website, it says he used to be a big shot.
That's fun.
On my Facebook page. Yeah.
Well, you still got every time I went out with you after I met you, you still get recognized on the street because you had not Midnight Blue, but you had Comedy Tonight, which you hosted
yes,
on
Comedy
PBS.
Tonight, yeah. And I also did a TV show over at Channel 7.
Oh, really?
Called Login TV. That's what I won Miami for.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought you won it for a special.
Well, no, I know that. The
thing.
other Emmy I have is a sports Emmy.
The other Emmy I have.
It was for we did a what do you call it?
Beta Breakers.
Beta Breakers, yeah.
Yeah. And you were the comic relief.
That's
I think you
right.
offered cheese platters too. We went through a phase where we offered people cheese platters just randomly. Like you sent me to the Oakland Convention Center with a cheese platter to look up Wolf Blitzer, who was in town, the newsman.
Really? I didn't remember doing that, but I probably did do it. I sent you over with a cheese platter for Wolf Blitzer.
And the best part was we get there and we find out where he is, and he's only one floor away. So I'm riding up the escalator, trying not to drop this cheese platter. And then he and I crossed on the elevators, and I said, Wolf Blitzer, welcome to Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area. We want to welcome you. The Alex Bennett Show welcomes you with a cheese platter. And
he's going down the elevator, and you're going up?
Yeah, here's your cheese platter. Yeah. And I remember there were buffalo wings in it. And I said, yeah, you've got some buffalo wings. And he goes, yeah, I'm from Buffalo. And I was just like, well, there you go. It was meant to be. It's kismet.
But yeah, I don't remember that. But then again, I don't remember anything any longer except what happened 2 minutes ago. And you're who?
Well, you know what? The thing that worries me more than those events long ago, those are kind of easy to remember for me. But it's the cliched, what did I come in this room for? And I used to have like a very organized way of keeping track of my thoughts, like in a conversation. Like if it was a 2-hour conversation, I could keep track of everything and come back to it, kind of as a callback. And that doesn't come as naturally anymore.
Really?
Maybe.
Yeah. What do I forget? I'll tell you what I forgot the other day. Somebody comes in and I've got Wi-Fi in the apartment. Of course, I've got Wi-Fi in the apartment, and they went, we want to use your Wi-Fi. What's the password? And I'm thinking and going, I don't remember the password.
Yeah, and it's those
the
things
reason is that when I set the Wi-Fi, that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
and I never had to change it, so I didn't know what the passwords were. So I went on to my account over at Verizon, and I was able to look it up there.
Well, that's good. Yeah,
but I couldn't remember, and I went, I remember most of my passwords. I'm pretty good about that,
Yeah, it's very disheartening when you can't remember something that you know almost as well as you know your middle name. Or you can't remember your middle name. But my husband is very good about that. He keeps like a library of our passwords.
Well, I noticed when we were with him, he's very keeping tabs of everything.
Yeah, he's very detail oriented.
In fact, I think we discussed a little bit about that, and I said that I'm that way too.
Yeah.
I'm not to the point where I'm obsessive compulsive, but to the point where I make sure I know where I've got my passwords. So I've got my passwords in one place, and I look them up, and I see what the password is. I look there. I hadn't changed it.
Yeah. See, that's when you're relieved and kind of annoyed.
So finally, I got them on there.
Yeah.
So
Well, I did the same thing once. A friend of mine and I were going to go to Greece, and I couldn't find my passport. And I'd gone to Illinois to stash my stuff till I knew what I was going to do.
mhm.
And you can't get a passport without your birth certificate. And so I just like hemmed and hawed, and we needed to get it
Yeah.
like soon, a rush order. So it was like $200 more. And so I knew where the birth certificate was, but I thought I have no idea where the passport is. So
Oh.
I resigned myself to the fact, pay the $200, and I go, and in my birth certificate envelope, there's my passport.
Mhm.
So, but you can't use it then. It's just like,
You know
we
what
got-
happened? This just froze up. The picture froze up on us on my
Really?
recording. On my recording. Yeah.
It doesn't even give us the dignity of being pixelated.
Let me see. Let me pause recording.
All right.
Yeah, we were frozen there for a minute or so.
Where I don't know any of the songs from Frozen, or we could have broken into a
Yeah,
medley.
but we froze on the video being recorded. Everything's going wrong today, folks.
Now, is Mercury still in retrograde?
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I have a theory that when Mercury's in retrograde,
What does that mean? Oh, now we're in sync too, which is good.
yeah, well, things are supposed to be screwy. Things that you can normally rely on technically and with machinery and with computer
Yeah.
issues are prone to go awry. And so,
When it's in retrograde or something.
yeah. But I have a theory that because I'm an iconoclast, when Mercury's in retrograde, everything is going great for me. Like, keep it on, Mercury.
Yeah, I just figured out the best way for me to get myself back in sync is to stop recording and keep going and start going. But we froze up there, folks. This is amazing. We usually never have problems with this.
We're
Yeah.
great little copers, though. We can cope. We flow.
Right. Well, there was also something. Well, anyway, here's what I hate. Okay, and I came up against this, and Marjorie is so pissed at it too. I hate these numbers. They say, "We want to identify you. Would you please go and put in? You're going to get an email from us right now. Put in the numbers you see."
It's a scam, is my first
No.
reaction.
You do this all the time. If you go somewhere, let's say you go to your account at AT&T or something,
Yeah.
and then they want to make sure it's you because they haven't heard from you in a while. So they're going to send you a group of numbers
Yeah.
that you then have to put in to make
Yeah.
get further. You know that when you do that?
Oh,
That
yeah.
happens all the time, and I hate it.
You know what? I don't know why everybody wants our social security number. You order a pizza and they want your social security number. What's with that bogossy? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they want but they want this number, and then you have to put it in, and then you can go forward with whatever your business was.
Your life can continue.
And sometimes I don't get their email, so I never get the number. I mean, folks, could you just have a little thing I can check that says I really don't care if somebody steals my stuff?
Right.
Just don't bother me with this crap. With these numbers I got to put in endlessly. But we haven't seen you in a while, or you're on a different computer. Here, send us these numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
And like someone may have hacked into your pickleball membership. Okay.
But anyway, getting back to what was happening in San Francisco with the
Loma Prieta in '89.
Loma Prieta, I was out of work and it was very depressing. I finally had to go to Florida to find a job. That was hell, folks.
I know you don't like. Well, my husband lived in Miami. He does not like Miami, but
Miami's the meanest city in America. Everybody there is mean,
angry.
Angry.
Yeah. Well, I think that the language composition, like half people speak Spanish, half English theoretically, but I think Spanish is becoming the prevalent language in Miami, and I think people don't want to admit that they're a little, biased, a little, hey, they can speak American a third, but
Wait a minute.
Did you go?
No,
Oh, there you go.
I just
You
clicked
disappeared.
something. I'm out of it today. Just
Yeah,
keep
but
going.
but
Yeah.
the thing is, you don't want to say that. It's so politically incorrect, and
Mm-hmm.
so then then it festers, and you become angry.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Stephen
yeah.
Cohen, huh?
Yeah. So I remember the Loma Prieta quake.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
it made me homeless. Anyway, I think we've got everything set up. So next week she's not going to be out of sync and nothing wrong is going to go on. So we've got it settled. What is your husband make? Is he making something for lunch?
Can you hear? Yeah,
Yeah.
he makes lunch is a big deal around him. Yes, he's very into lunch, and he usually has an assembly of all the good nutritious food groups,
Mhm.
and he will whip those together.
Yeah.
It's always different, but yeah, du jour today, I think maybe some buttered chicken. There could be some homemade chili on the menu, and then nuts.
I take it you don't cook.
I never have.
Anyway,
Never.
we've run out of time. We'll see you again next week, okay?
Okay, I'll learn to cook between now and then.
That's Lori Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye, Lori.
Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
That's our favorite co-host. That's Lori Thompson. I love her. I really do. She was in town a few weeks ago and hung out with us. We've had a lot of people coming. Now that I think about it, a lot of people coming through. I had, let's see here. We just had Bobby Vickers, or Bubbaloo Vickers, or Bobby, as we call him, Bobby Vickers, Robert Vickers. He was a lot of people know I'm talking about, Bubbaloo Vickers, and people who are from the Bay Area. And then we had, let me see here. Oh, then right after that, like within 12 hours after that, we had Albert Reynoso and his wife, and they came here for about 5 days. So basically, haven't had this house to ourselves until the last day or so. So yeah, it was okay. It was nice. It was nice having all those people here. I especially. I like all of them. I mean, I like Bubbaloo, we call him Bubbaloo. That's what I'll call him because people in the Bay Area know him as Bubbaloo. It was just he and his wife are terrific, and she's a doctor. She's a children's doctor. And then right after that, man, here comes Albert Reynoso and his wife, and they were here for about 5 days. And that was the story of our life here. So we've had quite a situation here for the last week or so. And then let's see here, a few weeks ago. Oh yeah, They didn't stay here, but Lori and her husband came here, and I've had a wonderful time with these people. It's nice to see them, But anyway. Where do we go? We got some people here, only about 2, so I'll admit them now. And if anybody else wants to call the show, you can call. And here's Charlie Wallace, and he is followed by the lovely and attractive Josh Wheeler, who's where are you again? You're in Ohio, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What part of Ohio again?
I live about 15, 20 miles south of Columbus.
Columbus, okay.
Right in the middle, basically.
Yeah, because we have quite a few people call the show from Ohio, especially on the Monday show.
Yeah, I'm like south of the middle line of Ohio that
Yeah.
I-70 runs through, but Columbus is about right in the middle.
Yeah. So anyway, did anybody happen to see Kamala on Fox tonight?
No, I didn't realize it was tonight. I'd heard she was going to do it, but
Yeah, I didn't watch it live, but I went and watched some stuff on YouTube from it, and I think she did fine. I think she was in hostile territory, and I think she was reacting to that. Maybe shouldn't have overreacted to it, but she pretty much felt she was doing battle.
tonight.
And so that's what was.
I didn't realize it was tonight. I'd heard she was going to do it, but
Yeah, I didn't watch it live, but I went and watched some stuff.
Jeff,
Am I still
And
double?
I think she
you
did
got
fine.
your speaker on.
Was in hostile.
Just kill your browser. Get rid of your browser.
Reacting to that, maybe you shouldn't have reacted over.
There we go. You got it now. Okay, good. Here's Brian Neary as well. Anyway, where were we? Who was I talking?
I suppose at least she did the interview, you know.
Well, I mean, I think that it was a brave thing to do. I think that she knew she was going into hostile territory, and that's as it was going to be. But if you're going to go somewhere, that's the place to go, because that's where the people who don't like you are. And maybe you can win them over. Now, I don't think she won over anybody who didn't like her. Okay?
Right.
Because she was a little combative. But she had to be. Because Brett Baer Brett Baer was doing an interview, but he wasn't doing an interview. He was doing a I gotta get you kind of interview. And she felt that. I think had he backed off and really just tried to find out who the hell this woman was and what she had to offer the world and did a good, straight, honest interview, I think it would have been okay. But I think what he did, and this is something I learned a long time ago, when people have said to me, oh, you had so-and-so on the show and you didn't go after him. And I go, well, if I went after him, what happens when you go after somebody in an interview? What happens? They suddenly lock up. They suddenly become defensive. And you don't get anything out of them. All you get are straight answers that they would always give. What I felt is that what you do is you create a friendly atmosphere, and that puts that puts them, shall we say, off their guard, more than if you start attacking them.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm sure that that was going to be a tough interview because of the way they were going to act, which, was fine. But, I mean, at least she did it. I mean, it just showed people that she's taken away that argument that they, can't go around saying, she doesn't do interviews and she only talks to people that are friendly to her and all that.
That's all that Trump does. He only goes on Fox.
It's obviously not true in her case. I mean, they're going to keep saying it. But it's not true. The 60 Minutes interviews are always difficult for anybody. I mean, 60 Minutes interviews people, with a lot of questions and follow up. And, she did the Fox deal. She's been going around doing other stuff. So, so since when is doing interviews with people who disagree with you qualification to be president? If you believe that it is, that's fine. As a voter, you're allowed to believe that. That's your choice to set your own criteria for how you choose to vote. But I mean, is it that important? Trump doesn't do it.
Right.
And I don't think that's what makes him not unqualified to be president. I would be fine with Trump if he started going on MSNBC twice a week. Suddenly I would like him. No, it's because it's not a qualification, right?
Right. But it would show a certain bravery on his part and a certain feeling of what he believes is right.
Right.
But he doesn't believe anything,
Right.
So.
And, I mean, for all we know, MSNBC does not own the rights to play enough music for him to dance to twice a week.
Well,
that's a lot of money.
If people haven't seen this thing, go on YouTube. You got to find it. Trump was doing a town hall in Pennsylvania. And what he was doing was he brought a whole bunch of people in, and they were all going to ask him questions, and he was going to answer them. And as it started out, unfortunately, 2 people passed out because it was so hot. And so then they had to kind of go through that and haul them out of the place and things like that. And that was that, So now he is so, I guess, thrown off or something by this, I don't know, that he decides to start playing music. And for the next, 37 minutes of this town hall, Donald Trump did nothing but play music.
Well, he
And
bobbed and weaved while they played
the
music.
dance,
tried to
dance to it, dance to it, dance to it, dance to it.
Didn't have to answer any questions though.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, but that
He
was
didn't do his classic dance though, you know.
no, he did that.
But it looked like he was like doing this. He's trying to, but
But,
then
you know, he's
Bill Maher, of course. Bill Maher, of course, showed it again this week. I love it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
week
the thing is that Kimmel and Bill Maher and quite a few other people on television kept saying, "What's he doing? Jerking off two people at one time?" You know,
Blowing two guys.
with this thing, and it looks like that. And you would think that with as many people that are kidding him about it, he wouldn't do it anymore. But he keeps doing it. You know.
I mean, did he do the robot? I mean, if he'd have done the robot, I'd probably change my mind about it.
Yeah, no, he didn't. He didn't do that. No. And he's a bad dancer. He's a terrible dancer.
I noticed.
You know, I don't like to really.
That's probably why he goes through wives quickly.
Yeah,
He can't dance.
yeah. But
I can only imagine if Kamala Harris had danced for 39 minutes at a town hall. I mean, regardless of what happened, if it was just to kill time while paramedics carried out dead people or whatever, if to kill the time she had done that, I can only imagine what the reaction would have been on,
Fox have gone crazy.
whoever, I mean, she's mentally unstable or whatever they would have said, she's not a serious person.
But it was a crazy thing. It was absolutely a crazy thing. Now, the big news tonight that came out is that Kamala Harris is behind Trump by 2 points. Have you seen this?
I don't know where that was this morning on Morning Joe. All they talked about was
try and guess who did the poll.
Fox.
You got it, Fox.
Of course.
Yeah, they talked on Morning Joe for almost an hour this morning about 4 or 5 national polls that just came out. Would have been last night that she was up in all 5 from anywhere from 2 to 4 points. One of them had her at 5.
Yeah.
52
Yeah,
to
but
47.
she went on to what was it, Outnumbered or whatever this morning on Harris Faulkner's show.
Yeah.
He was on that.
Oh,
I don't know
Trump.
if you guys talked about that.
Trump was on it.
Yeah, I watched the last.
Oh no,
20
Faulkner
minutes of it.
does a show before hers, for Outnumbered, and
Yeah,
and
that's
he
the
did the
Faulkner
Faulkner
report or
show.
whatever it
Yeah.
is.
And again,
he was on that.
He was totally out to lunch on that one too.
Yeah. You talk about softball questions.
Yeah,
There you go.
He doesn't look
So,
well. He doesn't look
now
well
they're
either,
even.
does he? Do you think he looks well? He looks a little
He
weathered.
never has.
No, he looks. You compare him to how he looked in just the last election that he was in.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. He looks really not well. Okay.
Yeah.
However, she has chronic rhinitis, which of course
Yeah.
Trump said in this interview with Faulkner that that's a dangerous thing. That's not good. That's not good
I mean,
to
she
have.
could literally sneeze to death at any moment.
Yes. Well, it's allergic rhinitis. What that is hay fever.
Hay fever. Yeah.
With that, she could sneeze to death tonight.
Sneeze her brains out.
Yeah. But this thing he does is driving me nuts. When he's doing this, and according to what's his name, his former press secretary, the one that only lasted 7 days or something.
McElhaney.
Whatever.
No, what was his name?
The him or the her?
No, him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Scaramucci.
Scaramucci. There was an old movie called Scaramouche about a swordsman or something. But anyway,
He says that means he's lying.
that means he's lying. But he does it so much now you can't tell whether he's lying or not lying. But he's always doing this. And I wonder about that. I'm going to bring up something here. And let's see if I can. This is called. Let's see if Alex can get killed by YouTube, taken off of YouTube or demonetized by YouTube. I'm beginning to think, and I talked to a couple of people that I had in the house this weekend, that, you know, we every discussion these days at some point gets around to Trump, okay? And in both cases of two groups of people that were here, we were talking about it. And we kind of believe that Donald Trump, when he got shot in the ear, didn't get really shot. That it's all
or his brain leaked.
No, that because here's the thing, okay, folks. I wish I had done a little work and gotten the pictures and so on. Right after that incident, he shows up at the Republican convention with his ear tampon on.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody at the convention started wearing them too. You know, let's all wear the tampon. So they were all wearing this ear tampon, and he had that on, and that was on for about 2 or 3 days when he was on camera. Right after that, they took pictures of him, and he had a little itty bitty, like, you know, one of the smaller Band-Aids that you put on here. Okay, all right. 2 days later, he doesn't have it on at all. There's no sign of a nick. Nothing. So I think that the whole thing about him getting shot was a phony. Or at least he got shrapnel, because some people got killed. I mean, somebody was shooting with bullets, okay?
A couple people got hit when they had interviews with them the other day.
Yeah, but did he get hit? There's no sign that he got hit. You know, yes, Alan.
So let me try this. I don't really know if he got hit or didn't get hit. I doubt it was shrapnel. All the bullets were going behind him, hit other people. But a 22 caliber bullet is what's fired out of this thing. It's a .223 actually. But in any case, people get their ears pierced with bigger piercings, and a day or two later, it's pretty much healed. And so to go by that you don't see anything in his ear lobe where he got hit or up here is
there's a difference. There's a difference with getting your ear pierced and getting a bullet. Nicking your ear. You're going to have supposedly a much worse. I mean, all you get is a little thing that goes in because you've taken a very thin needle. That you know, I've had both my ears pierced at one time, and in neither case did they even bleed. Okay. I mean,
I've never had a piercing.
Yeah, I mean, right after you do the piercing, you immediately put in the earring, and there was no blood or anything like that. But the kind of thing he had, I mean, the amount of blood that he had, it should have been worse when he finally took it off and you could see it. And 5-6 days later, there was nothing there. So, I mean, how real is that situation?
Yeah, but even if it was shrapnel, and you were right, or shrapnel of some kind, the monitor or something got hit, it would leave a mark too 3 or 4 days later.
Well, I have another question for you. The guy who shot him, what have you heard about him since? You know, huh?
The FBI's got their mouth shut on it.
Oh, they've got their mouth shut on it. Why is their mouth shut on it? I mean, there's something weird about that guy that they're not revealing.
He's a Republican? No.
Oh, he was a Republican. Oh, yeah, he was a Republican.
I have no idea. I have no idea why.
Everybody that's come after him has been a Republican or an independent.
I mean, I have a theory that the thing was all set up, and this guy was like the patsy.
It's possible. Let's say Iran set the guy up, found a Republican kid.
Forget about Iran.
It was a nobody.
I think it could very well have been the Trump people who set the whole thing up. You don't put that past Trump?
I don't want to believe it, but I don't put it past him.
You don't want to believe it, but you don't want to put it past him. Exactly.
I wouldn't put it past them
Yeah.
to get one of them little ketchup pouches they use on the set.
Well, but you know what you get is it's called a squib.
Yeah, I know.
And they use it in movies. And he touched the ear. Why he touched the ear? I mean, immediately there should have been more damage. Let me put it that way. I mean, how can something so nick you with a bullet that you don't 5 days later have anything showing?
Who's the doctor who checked him out?
You notice he hasn't made a statement, whoever that doctor was.
Why should he?
But we haven't heard about the guy. I don't even know. Did they bury him? You didn't even hear about a burial.
They buried Trump? That's cool. No,
but you don't hear anything about that guy. There's something very phony and funny about all of that.
Well,
and the second one wasn't even a assassination attempt. The guy didn't even shoot at him.
That's right.
Okay, so don't call it in this too. He had two assassinations.
At least get a shot off, then you could say, yeah.
If he got a shot off, or if he was even in the bushes with the gun pointing it at him, and he wasn't even doing that.
For all we know.
Absolutely.
That could have been set up easily.
That would be the setup. Having the guy.
That's right. That's the setup where you sit there all night.
Maybe the guy was shooting groundhogs.
Well, I mean, he obviously there was something going on there with the guy, but I don't know if he was out to shoot Trump.
We don't know that.
We don't know.
Are you saying that it could possibly something came from a tinny roof and not the grassy knoll?
A tinny roof and not the grassy
It's Ted Cruz in the library with the gun. Remember?
Yeah.
You know how I know there's a God, Alex? I figured it out. God really exists.
Really?
Yes, because he saved Trump. He didn't want him to come upstairs. You keep him. I don't want him.
I don't want him up here. No. Yeah, no way he's coming up here. And,
he's not coming up here.
And the devil doesn't want him either.
No.
Where is he? He's in limbo, right? Is that what they call it?
In purgatory. Purgatory, yeah.
The interesting thing, if Trump had not turned his head to the right, a few seconds before, if it was a bullet, it would have penetrated his skull and probably killed him.
Yeah, but also, I mean, I question.
Yeah, really.
I'm questioning how it clipped his ear, but it didn't hit his
It
head.
looked like that if you watch it.
Okay, and didn't hit his head. I mean, hey, folks, for years they were talking about the Kennedy assassination. So if I can be this way about Trump, I just think there's something very phony about that assassination.
That's the part
attempt.
of it, though. If somebody shot a real live bullet and just nicked him, he has to be a damn good shot.
Yep.
And that's the only part that throws you off is, if he did nick him, boy.
You know what?
Not only lucky, but the guy's a good shooter.
What was he, 300 yards away?
The day after, he had some Boy Scout training or Cub Scout and was a horrible shot with a .22 rifle. This thing is a lot more complicated to shoot than a .22. I mean, to shoot accurately. This AR is a lot more. And if this kid was that bad a shot in Cub Scouts, how did he pick up this assault weapon? And
we never saw the assault weapon. We never. They didn't do any ballistics on it that we heard of.
No.
How do we know he even shot a bullet out of that gun and that bullet didn't come from somewhere else?
Well, I don't know. There are people behind
somebody
Trump
who is an expert shot and can miss his ear and accidentally shot the people in the crowd who were stupid enough to be sitting behind him.
I still don't understand. I
don't understand either. Why would you sit innocent people, guys, behind the president?
Well, they always do.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I wouldn't want to be there. So
they're props.
He wasn't the president.
No, but I mean, I don't. That's what I was going to ask you guys.
Brian,
like a rally like that, Alex, right?
I'll get to you in a second.
Should nobody be able to be sitting behind him for that reason alone?
No, that's where they stick all the black people.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Blacks for Trump.
Right? You always have that one guy has the sign "Blacks for Trump."
Blacks for
glasses,
Trump.
Yeah.
No, but I don't understand how the Secret Service would let a person up on that roof. That's where they would be. Wouldn't Secret Service be on that roof? That's like a prime area for them
All
to
I
have
know
a visual on things.
is we've heard nothing about that guy. We've heard nothing about a burial.
Right.
We've heard nothing about him. We've heard nothing about the gun. They've never shown us there was never a picture of the gun, or they usually, when you have things like this, they eventually show you the rifle, to say this is what he tried to do it with. We haven't heard anything. Zero, zilch. Why is that?
So my question here, and not with Donald Trump, but with the kid is laying on top of one of these storage containers or a roof. And after he fired the shots, one of the police snipers that was up as high as him or higher shot the kid, killed him, an instant shot to the head. Mm-hmm. And they showed, they took cameras up there and showed the rifle laying next to him. Obviously, it could still be a setup. And the kid could have been faking it, or he could have been shot.
I haven't seen any pictures of the dead kid.
I have.
You have?
Yeah,
Has anybody?
First couple days.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I think you saw a picture from further away.
No, they were on the roof. They were on the roof of the building,
standing right there on the body, but it was blurred.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, my question is, usually they show the gun, and they've got the gun all over the place, and they show the guy, and they show his pictures a lot. I think they showed his picture once, and that was it.
I mean, how many people in this country above the age of 4 don't know what an assault is?
I mean, this is an attempted presidential assassin. Do they usually treat assassins with complete mystery and, hey, goodbye? No, you've got the body, you've got the weapons. You can now do some checkups on him. We don't even know anything about him.
He wasn't president when this happened.
But we didn't know. We don't know anything about this guy.
I know. There's tight lips, and I don't understand why.
And usually they make a big deal. This guy did this, and he did that, and, whatever. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. So
this whole thing does. I mean, I watched that thing. I heard you talking in the beginning with the pencil when they carried that guy out. He had no shirt on, and the only way they carried him out from that rally. And Trump, like you said, he's bizarre. 30 minutes of doing nothing but playing the YMCA.
What do you mean from the rally? What are you talking
rally,
about?
yeah, whatever that thing was. That a rally yesterday? What was that?
It was a town hall.
I'm sorry. That was his hand. They carried him out with no shirt on, with his hand up.
Funny thing is, Kristi Noem was doing the same shit, negging him on and going, "What am I doing up here?"
Yeah. So, I mean, but what do you mean they were hauling somebody away? They weren't hauling.
Yeah, they carried that guy who was, he must have fell from the exhaustion, and he had no shirt on. If you watch the video again,
well, it was exhaustion because it was heat exhaustion, very hot.
Don't they have air conditioner in that place?
Well,
right,
I think
Tony gets turned on to people with no shirts on.
I might be wrong, but I think this was outside.
Oh, was it?
It was in the crowd.
Is
what I heard.
If not, it wasn't inside. The fact that they didn't air condition it shows you. Well, it must have been air conditioned on some level, because Trump wasn't sweating up a storm.
No, and it's pretty cool out right now. I mean,
especially for something
cool out here, but down in Pennsylvania, it could have been really hot.
And 5,000 people stuck in a little place like that too.
I don't know if it was that many people.
That's AI. There were 3 people in the room.
They don't know. I don't think he's getting that much. But I just don't. I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Any of these incidents, Right. In fact, we haven't heard a hell of a lot about this other guy who they caught, who was hanging out in the bushes with it.
That seems fishy to me.
Yeah. You don't hear much about him either. You would think usually I mean, look what they did when Kennedy was killed. They paraded Lee Harvey Oswald in front of the press.
But he was president, Kennedy. Trump's not president.
Yes, but Trump was president.
Right.
That qualifies him.
And nobody took a shot at him. I don't understand that.
There was an indoor rally.
It wasn't what?
It was an indoor rally.
Was it indoor rally? And it was
so many people.
And it was that. Well, I don't know if it was that. It may have been a small event.
The guy in the bushes take a shot and hit Trump.
That might have been an older one.
It definitely would have done a lot more damage. The weapon that they recovered, the FBI, was an SKS, which is a knockoff of an AK-47. Doesn't shoot a 22, it shoots a 30 caliber bullet, much bigger, much more powerful. So, but if he was gonna, he probably figured the guy with the 22 rifle, the assault weapon, he would up his game plan if he was actually going to shoot Trump. He didn't get a shot off, so how is it it's not an attempt.
He wasn't even trying.
Right.
You know, he just had his little gun, and they saw him with his gun.
I mean, somebody saw him in the bushes. They fired at the rifle, and they missed, the Secret Service, and he jumped in the car and left, and somebody in the parking lot got a picture of the license plate and gave it to the police. And so a couple miles down the road, they stopped the car. And
it's gotten to be that it's a secret what service they, in fact, perform. So, but anyway.
Well, I think the Secret Service got burned in the first attempt.
Yeah. Now, Brian is home tonight. You home tonight or at the office?
I'm home. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I'm home.
You're home. Okay.
Yes.
Just one.
Yeah. Long week, but I'm home.
You look kind of exhausted.
Yeah. Yes.
What do you mean?
Long days at work. When you get the big bucks.
Long days at work, and then I watch Stephanie play flag football on Tuesday and Thursdays. So I watched her play last night.
She played football?
Flag football, yeah. She's on varsity, yeah.
What's it called?
Flag.
Yeah, flag football.
Flag football.
Oh, flag football. That's the one where you put the flag on your butt or whatever, and people have to. Yeah.
Hips, yeah.
They had that when I was a kid, too.
Yeah. So so I stay and that's late. That's like 7 till like 8 o'clock, and then I drove her home, and then drove home. So yeah.
Yeah, she's
long days.
She's quite athletic, isn't she?
Stephanie, this is Stephanie, a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
She's I laughed at her because I drove her home last night. I said, I never see you run so fast, except for when you're playing. And she says, yeah, because I'm running after the football or trying to get open. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they when they want to, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because when all of us played sports in high school, I remember like the rival team came to our parking lot, and like we all like took over their car and they all went running and all that stuff. But nowadays, they played their rival the second game last night. You know what they do is they go on social media and they take film from their games and they make fun of them. like they were talking a lot of smack. So this is the rival. So they played the first game, and Stephanie's high school won in overtime, and now they're going to play again. They play 2 times a year, and they were on Instagram and everything. They were doing all these detail things, and like making fun of the school and everything. And then Stephanie's team won by 1 point at the very end. Yeah, so it was really exciting. But it's like a different level.
And then they go on social media and trash talk them.
Yeah, it's like a totally different thing in high school now, where they're going to social media and they do like video clips and they're making fun of some of the kids, like in detail. And then they won again, but it's just different level than we were used to.
I rest my case. Computers are no good. I'm going along with Larry Bubbles Brown on this one. Everybody is like, trashing everybody else, and it's not good, whatever happened to the thing about the fun is in the playing of the game, not in the trashing of the other team. So yeah.
Some people want to just play.
Yeah, some people just want to play. Yeah.
Right. And the other one is get involved and they want to win.
Yeah.
They want to be better.
Yeah.
They want to learn.
Anyway, what does it say on your shirt tonight? Oh, my favorite childhood memory is my back not hurting. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
So do I.
Why is it a lot of the ones you're wearing now refer to your age?
Because I'm old.
Because I'm old. Well, you're what? You're 72?
74.
74?
I mean, that's ancient, right?
Well, he's 10 years younger than I am.
Yep.
And he's 10 years older than I am.
Oh, really?
And I'm probably in worse shape physically than him.
You don't run around 4 hours 2 or 3 times a week.
No, definitely not.
Well, you do get a lot of exercise in what you're doing.
Yeah.
I went to my physical therapist today, and I complained, and I said, I hate to tell you, but all the stuff, I said, I've been doing all the stuff, religiously. As I say a prayer every time I do it. But I'm doing all the exercises at home and regularly and all that I'm supposed to do. And I said, I'm only getting worse. And she was kind of concerned about that. So she backed me off of some of my stuff I was doing, the stand-ups from a sitting position and things like that, which, she said, eventually you're going to get to where you start improving. She said, but, maybe we have to back off on your workouts a little bit. So we'll back off on stuff. And, she's very good. I like her a lot. And I started asking her, what do all the different things do and what are they affecting and why are you doing them, Some are for balance. Some are just for strength in the core areas, and stuff like that. But it's concerning to me that it gets worse. So I stopped doing the sitting up in the chair, and she said, "Well, that's good." And I said I felt slightly better. So, so that's my big deal today. Wednesdays.
Are your allergies under control?
Yeah, they haven't been bothering me today, but you sent me another thing. I haven't used the old ones up yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know you were having allergy problems, so I sent you some.
Whenever I see an Amazon package coming to me, and it says Alex Bennett, I know it's from him.
Okay.
Because all my Amazon packages come to Bennett Schwarzman.
Oh, well, there you go.
You see? And so when I look at it and I see Alex Bennett, I go, oh, it's got to be him.
Yeah.
Well, you complained a couple weeks ago about having allergies, and
they
ran out of pills, so I sent you some more.
They haven't been bad today, but my eyes have been tearing a little bit, But outside of that, today I was feeling much better.
Yeah, try to spell Schwarzman. Oh my God.
And spell it right.
They spell it right though all the time because they have it there spelled right, So it's not being,
butchered by
butchered by somebody at right, exactly. So whatever. So other than that, I'm trying to think of what else has been happening in this world that it's all been pretty quiet elsewhere. I mean, the United States has finally said to Israel, if you don't start doing something about Gaza and start lightening up on Gaza and sending aid to Gaza, we're not going to send you any more weapons. That's it. I mean, you have to show some good faith that you don't want this thing to keep on going and you don't want people to be dying who shouldn't be dying. But it's like Israel doesn't care. It just doesn't care. And when I see these people, who are they're not combatants, okay? They're just people who got a family and they happen to be stuck in Gaza. Can you imagine? Those people are actually stuck in Gaza.
Yeah.
It's like
it has to be like being stuck in Miami, right?
It's like being stuck. It's like being stuck in a prison. Yeah. They can't get out of it, and then all of a sudden, here come the bombs. I mean, and they're trying to raise families in this and all of that, and I just feel sorry for them. And because of all that's happened, a bitterness has been created that I don't think is ever going to be solvable. I think this is going to go on for the next 100 years because there are kids who are growing up in Gaza in the midst of all of this who have learned to hate Israel.
But they learned that before the war started.
They learned that if they learn or was being impregnated in their minds early,
right.
it's been reinforced
Reignited, absolutely.
been reinforced by what Israel has done to them. Okay, and this was the same reason why you had why Hamas started to exist and Hezbollah, because the Palestinians really got pushed into the desert. They were pushed out of their homeland, and so there was a bitterness that was attached to that goes on to this very day.
I think Netanyahu wants to push Gaza into the ocean.
I think Netanyahu, he's trying to do what Trump is doing by running for president. He's trying to prevent prosecution.
They're both cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, because if he ever is thrown out of office, the next thing they're going to do is arrest him.
Absolutely.
Okay. And to prevent that from happening, he has, why do you do what you did in Gaza and the next day you're going and getting Hezbollah in the West Bank?
Well,
Why all of a sudden does that become a thing?
Well, because they're firing missiles into Israel.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
You're watching a different newscast.
NBC
last night showed missiles coming.
Yes, but that's now because they've been having missiles going at them.
Right. Okay, before. No, right.
Yeah, I mean, who shot the first missiles into there to any extent? I mean, Hezbollah has been shooting missiles for years. So have a couple of other countries, But and also what's stupid about them shooting those missiles into Israel is they'll never do any damage because you've got that what do they call it, the Iron Dome?
Dome.
Yeah, which is basically just a bunch of missiles that shoot down their missiles. So what have you done? You've just sent 20,000 missiles that cost you a fortune to build, and now they're all gone, and nothing did any harm. I think a couple land every now and then they get through, but
Yeah,
but
Israel lets them get through if it's an unpopulated area.
But it's got to stop, and the only people that can make it stop is us. By threatening Israel, no more. You've got to start doing something to prevent this from becoming a real bad deal.
I think it's an idle threat.
You think so?
Yeah.
You might be right. You might be right. But why? What does Israel have over us?
It's kind of a little too late in the juncture. Why didn't Biden stop sending missiles? They just sent some new missile system and Americans to shoot it.
Okay, so what is the fear? What is the fear the United States has? What is the double whammy that Israel has over us that makes us say, "Oh well, we're not gonna be."
It's called APAC, and donating hundreds of millions of dollars against political candidates. They don't
Yep, and there you go. And what I'm saying is that the reason why we back Israel and why we keep letting them exist with their bad behavior is because they feel that if they don't, the Jews will come get them. The Jews got money and they're not going to, spend it on our campaigns, and we don't want to upset the Jews. Well, I find that a very anti-Semitic notion that to begin with, the Jews have money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they did spend $18 million to kick Jamal Bowman out of office.
Really?
Yes.
Who is Jamal Bowman?
He's from New York. What do you mean? He's a representative in the U.S. Congress from New York.
No, it's not Jamal Bowman. That's not his name.
Oh, that's Jamani, the other guy, I think.
Yeah. They have a lot of ads for him.
Yeah, I know his name. My brother would know it. Oh, shit. He's sleeping now.
Yeah.
It'll come to me.
The same one that rang the fire alarm in the Capitol and got into trouble for that.
Really? I don't remember that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't remember it either.
Well, no, refresh.
I think he expressed
Let
some anti-Israel support type stuff early on, and they targeted him in a special election. And, because it was a standalone special election, they were able to flood the market with media and things like that against him. They spent a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah, well, all I know is when I was growing up, I kept being told, that I'm a Jew and your people have money. And I kept saying, I'd sure like to know where it is, because none of it's ever been spent on me. I never knew any Jews who were exceedingly wealthy. I knew some that had some businesses and things like that, but they weren't exceedingly wealthy.
Describe what exceedingly.
Paul Bowman,
Is-
representative from New York City.
Yeah, and why did they go after him?
He came out saying that he was against all the what Israel was doing to the Palestinians in Gaza.
Oh, wow.
And so AIPAC spent $18 million, most money ever spent on a representative race against him with all kinds of ads and stuff, and got him kicked out of office.
Really?
Yes.
And where was I?
Yeah, really.
I missed it too.
No, I'm in Texas and I knew about that.
I know. Well, I'm in a coma. What can I say?
I remember the guy Santos, Alex. Remember he lied about everything and he wouldn't leave? That I remember.
Yeah. Well, he's not.
And our mayor's still not stepping down, and they're all around him.
Yeah, we have a mayor who just, he should quit, but he doesn't.
I mean, how many times can you go to Turkey and get the kickback? I mean, really?
Well,
Is that much? Is Turkey that popular that you would go there that much?
No. I mean, every country in the world has business dealings with the United States on one level or another. And if they can buy off a senator to help them with stuff or whatever, in this case, a mayor, in this case, what they want to do is they built a building here in Manhattan, in one of these tall, incredibly tall skyscrapers, and they couldn't get the fire stuff passed or whatever, and it was looked over by the people that do that sort of thing, and they said we can't give this building a pass here. You've got to do some stuff to fix it up. So they never pulled in their chips on the mayor of New York, but they did then, and they said do something about it, and he went and got the whole thing passed. And really what he did is that people were now going into an unsafe building. So that's where it was all terrible. But that's why, I mean, then we had another guy over in New Jersey, the Democrat, what's his name, who got found guilty of taking money from Egypt. From Egypt.
He was having gold bars in his cars.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I carry around gold bars in my car.
I saw gold in Costco, Alex. Remember the entered? You could buy gold there.
Can you buy gold in
Costco? Yeah. They had little bars.
Now you can buy platinum
too. We walked in, they was right there versus there's some gold. I said, oh shit.
Platinum too.
Something, I must have a bad Costco because I can't imagine. I don't ever remember them selling gold.
In Long Island City, we went there, Alex, and when you enter, they're right in the front where the TVs are, and then there's a little display of brothers. Here's the gold bars. I said, oh shit! I thought he was joking to me.
They've always sold gold and diamond rings. Now they're selling gold bars. And this week I saw an ad that they're also, like Kevin just said, they're selling platinum bars too.
Really? Well, I haven't been in my Costco for a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
Because, we started using Instacart, during COVID. And after COVID was over, we still, I just order through Instacart and they bring the stuff to me. So, And why should I go over there? I can't walk anymore. So, but I actually want to go there because I've got, every year they send you a check.
Well, you got your money thing? My brother gets that too.
You get a check. I get a check for about $100 a year. I've got 3 or 4 of them here that I haven't cashed because I haven't been back to Costco.
And when he gets a check, I go crazy. Yeah, I can get some.
They'll expire. You got to watch it.
No, they don't expire.
No. Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, those don't.
Yeah, they don't.
I thought you had to use them by the end of the year.
No. They don't say anything about expiration on there or must use by or whatever, Otherwise, I'd somehow figure out a way. I mean, I really wish that, I could call up Instacart and they'd come get my money and cash it and bring it to me.
You can't use that.
You can get a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Costco's smart. They don't just send you a check that you can take to the bank. They send you a check that you have to use at Costco.
Yeah, you have to use it checking out. They will give you cash if it's, like let's say you've got $100 on the thing and you spend 80. They will give you the $20 in cash, but you can't go to the counter and say, "Here's the $100. Give me $100." So.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not like you're not going to spend it.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend it at Costco anyway.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a rebate, really, and you're just spending it on new stuff. But
I use it for my what do you call it, membership.
Can you use it for your memberships?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, maybe I'll do that next year.
I do the same thing.
What do you do? What do you do? Do you just do you go online and tell them pay for my membership with the money? Huh?
I go into the store to the customer service counter and give them the check, and they update my
good. Okay, I'll do that next time. But first I have to go down to Costco. Yeah. I think it's still in the same place.
I wonder if you have to use the checks, or if you could send them to Kevin and me.
I don't think so. It's got my name on it.
You have to use them. Yeah, you have to use them.
And I think it has to. I think you have to have your card.
Yeah.
In order to cash them in, and you don't have my card. So.
I can make one up. Alex Bennett.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
I know the trick to hide when I send you something.
So I mean, otherwise, there's nothing much happening, in the news. Everybody's doing the hippopotamus story. That's a big one.
I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was going to ask you, are you going to go live? I know we got a ways to go. Are you going to do a show for election night? I was just curious.
No, it's a Tuesday night. I'm not going to work. Are you kidding me?
Even on election?
No, I think probably what we'll do is we'll go on like at 8 o'clock at night.
Oh.
And
the polls close, 9 o'clock then? Yeah.
You probably won't know the results Tuesday night. It probably won't.
I hope he loses.
Well, but we can talk about it. There'll be some kind of results in, and we can start talking about it. And that's when when California starts. Wait a minute, California doesn't come in till 11.
Last.
Yeah, real late.
Well, I can probably go on at 10:30, and we wouldn't have missed anything. And I don't want to. I remember being in California and feeling left out of every election.
Oh, because you're right. Because
I lived in New York for the longest time, and then I went back to California, and I'm driving across the bridge to go to. I was at KMEL at the time, to go to KMEL to do election night coverage. We were going to go on at 8 o'clock, and as I'm driving across the bridge, they call the election for Reagan, and I'm going, "What's this all about? I'm not going to be able to go." So I did a U-turn in the middle of the Golden Gate Bridge and went home. Yes, Al.
Josh probably could better answer this, but anybody, of course. There was the biggest turnout of early voting in
Georgia.
Yesterday. Yeah. Is that good for the Democrats or not? Or does that really?
That's good for the Democrats. Yeah.
I think so too.
Democrats vote early. I've already voted.
Yes, so have I. Well, but these were lines of people.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you have, but I was just gonna say, kind of the way that she has a pretty good advantage, like in the national poll and the popular vote sort of realm. To me, the more people that vote overall would be better for her.
Yeah.
Which is what we saw last time, right? Record number of people voted. Yeah. Biden won, picked up a lot of states you didn't normally see, and the popular vote margin was larger than it was with Clinton, right?
Yes.
That's how Trump goes around saying, "Oh, more people voted for me than had ever voted for anybody for president." Yeah. Except the guy I lost to would be in parentheses at the end of that sentence, right?
Except the guy I lost to.
So, like there'd be a footnote or whatever if it was a paper, but I was just saying that I think in general, the more people that vote should be better for her, because in general, all polling indicates in national polling, when you don't break it down by battlegrounds and all that other stuff, more than half the country choose her as their vote. So I would say the more people that vote, the better.
Yeah.
In every state, but
Yeah.
specifically in the states that are going to be highly contested.
Yeah.
And it would seem to be if people are early voting like that.
There's one other thing in Georgia.
More people are going to vote.
One other thing in Georgia we should mention. They did a whole thing about, I don't know, about pre-voting and when you do the ballots and blah, 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 blah. And they passed some laws that were kind of draconian. And today a judge threw them all out.
Threw them all out.
Yeah.
He said it was just too much work for people to do. Come back to me in 4 years with this thing,
Yeah,
and so consequently, all the things the Republicans were trying to do to kind of subvert the vote in Georgia have now been overturned, and it could be very good for her in Georgia. I mean, Georgia's a predominantly black state. Of course, what is it with the black men? Come on, Charlie. What can you explain that?
Don't blame me. Don't blame me.
And is it even true? Is what I want to know.
I would ask that question myself. Is it
He's the black
really
guy. Come on.
in that way?
All I know is
it's
the
just
black men in my family love Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Because, that's how these things get started, is by Trump going around saying that stuff over and over and over and over and over again. But just because Trump says it 100 times a day doesn't mean that it's actually the case.
Well, it means MSNBC will talk about it as truth,
I probably don't doubt that there is maybe some pollinger out there.
Well, I don't know, maybe
she's
there's
not doing as well as maybe expected or something, but,
Well, she doesn't do as well with men anyway.
Right. But the problem is, when it comes to black men voting for Biden or all other candidates in the past, and it's 90%, and suddenly she's at 82%, and they act like that's just the world's going to end. You're asking them for one to vote for a woman, which a lot of people are. Let's be real here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's.
And J.D. Vance says if you're a man and you vote for a woman, you're a pussy, according to J.D. Vance.
There are people that don't vote for candidates because of their gender or their race. I'm not breaking news to anyone here, am I?
No.
No. Were there not white men that didn't vote for Barack Obama because he was black and they had traditionally voted for Democrats? So you could have went around, and I believe that they did, saying Barack Obama had a white man problem. Yeah, that's because we live in America. Doesn't mean I gotta like it or I approve of it, but facts are facts. I'm just saying. So I don't know. I really haven't even looked at it because it doesn't matter to me as much. But what is she pulling at with black men? If she was pulling in the 52% or whatever, it'd be one thing. But
maybe if she was pulling black men, they'd get all their votes.
I think women overall are voting for her.
You look at Brian. Look at Brian. He's just like,
I don't know what
that's
the numbers
Alex.
are.
That's Alex. You got it right.
Yes. I think we all got it. But.
They probably all got it, but you just don't want to admit it. Okay. Anyway.
In small numbers, but I just can't see a lot of black men going in and voting for Trump.
I can't see anybody voting for Trump, but apparently I'm wrong. Here, the music's playing.
I'm gonna listen to Village People later.
There we go. There it is. I got it. Gee, and I've never jerked off a guy before. I can still do it. Oh man, just 2 more weeks and it's all over. Is it 2 weeks?
I hope
a little more.
It ain't gonna be all over.
I
Believe me.
prayed to my mother that she put it.
What? Yeah. Well, anyway.
3 weeks, I think.
Hey, listen, Charlie. Good having you here as always. And we got the black vote. That's Josh. Good having you here. Thanks for joining us this evening. and of course our good friend Jeff Stein up there in Connecticut. And also Brian Neary. Geez, you get some sleep, relax.
Yeah, you look
Yeah,
tired.
yeah. Alan, good having you here. Kevin, always a pleasure having you here. And Tony, yeah, sure, why not?
Great.
You're okay too. You're okay too. Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? And let me see here. I got to push a button here and get me. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's it for tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow night. Next is Amy Manuel, and she'll be doing a little show called The Intersection. And then we'll be back here again tomorrow. She'll be taking your calls, by the way, on Skype at Gabnet Live. We'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody.